Welcome, everyone. So first, we are going to do a roll call.
To the March 18th Walnut Creek Design Review Commission meeting.
It is the March 18th Design Review Commission meeting.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Can we have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Vice
We
Chair.
need this.
Commissioner Newsom.
I'm here.
Commissioner Prose.
Here.
Vice Chair Riley.
Here.
Commissioner Basting and Commissioner Basting is absent tonight. She let us know that last week, and Commissioner Case had to recuse from this item. So we have 3, and we have a quorum.
Great. All right, so next is the consent calendar. Is there anything that we have for the consent calendar?
Nothing on the agenda, nor are there any recommendations to move anything to consent.
Great. Next, we have public communications. This portion of the meeting is reserved for comment on items that are not under the, on the agenda. Is there anyone here to speak on those things that are not on the agenda? All right. Next, we have disclosure of ex parte communications. Has anyone on the commission spoken to anyone about this project?
No. No.
Not myself either. Okay. Let's get into the public hearing session. So tonight's meeting is to look at the design review for a new animal daycare, and this is a study session.
Good evening, Commissioners. Simmer Gill, Senior Planner with the City. And we are here tonight for a study session for the proposed Joybound Animal Daycare building that will be located at 2890 Mitchell Drive. So tonight with the applicants team with Joybound, we have Susan Lee Vick, Cheryl McKenna, Scott Corney, and with the project design team, which is the project architect, and the remaining team is Greg Bua, Michael Vidra, and Jesse Moran. And myself included, we're happy to answer any questions after this presentation. And just to quickly orient you with the site, it is located at the corner. The existing Joybound facility is located at the corner of Oak Grove Road and Mitchell Drive, and the site is zoned a business park. It is roughly 10-acre site, and the surrounding area consists primarily, the immediate area consists of office and commercial uses, and there are residential uses on the other side of Oak Grove Road. And here are just some photos and a layout of the existing site. And this is a nonprofit organization which does provide animal rescue and shelter services, and it was formerly known as the ARF Animal Rescue Foundation Facility. It's now called Joybound, but essentially the same operations, it's carrying over the same operations. And the new 12,000 square foot building will be located, the clicker's not working. Is that screen share? It's probably not on screen share. Is that it? Well, we have to put, sorry about this. Thought it was here, but we'll try again. Okay, let's try again. Let me see if my clicker works. Yes, so this is the location for the proposed daycare, and this is roughly 1.5 acres of vacant land along the is facing the Mount Diablo, Mitchell, the Mitchell Drive frontage. And the existing facility does currently operate 11 programs. That includes dog and cat training, food share, pet adoptions, other community services, as well as providing service animals to military veterans that reside in the Bay Area. And so tonight, the project before you is a new 12,577 square foot animal daycare building that will also include outdoor training areas, 4 outdoor exercise yards, as well as a new covered trash enclosure that will be dedicated to this building. New parking stalls are also proposed, and tree removals that consist of 10 trees, new landscaping with 55 new trees that will be installed, and new building signage. So tonight, the Design Review Commission will review the project, provide any design-related comments or feedback for the design review, as well as the conditional use permit, which this is a cultural institution use, the existing operations, and they're essentially expanding the existing use on site. So what we're looking for tonight is feedback on the design, as well as a recommendation to the Planning Commission if the commission tonight feels the project is sufficiently developed. So here is a look at the entire site. What I've highlighted in blue for you is the existing Animal Rescue Foundation, and here's that Veteran Services building that was approved, I believe, in 2016 by this commission. And so tonight, what we're reviewing this is just a closer look at that location in reference to, this is the entire site. The yellow area is the new location for the building. This is just a closer look at that. And I wanted to point out that the existing drive aisle or access will remain the same. And from here, this is the existing drive aisle, and then they will extend into the new site, creating this driveway access that connects to the rest of the site, and it circulates across the entire site. And the new parking stalls are located right along here as you enter the site. And I believe there's a new entry gate that's being proposed, and perimeter fencing, as well as ornamental metal fencing that will be along the project frontage facing Mitchell Drive. And here's a look at the proposed elevations or renderings. This is the front entrance of the building that will be facing internally into the existing site. The primary material does consist of cement stucco plaster, and these renderings depicted as a gray color, but it's really like a light or a cream color, and I believe the material board is being passed around to the commissioners. And then the accent colors consist of beige and brown that will be along the base of the building, as well as along the entrance of the primary entrance of the building. Metal panel accents and dark framed windows are also proposed, as well as a recessed entry with metal panel and canopy above it. And the architectural articulation, as well as the materials, do complement the existing buildings on site. And here is the elevation that's facing the adjacent property. Again, the same colors, the articulation, the recessed windows, and the canopies are carried along to all of the elevations. Here is the west elevation. This faces the back of the site, which would be looking towards that existing Veteran Services building that's located in the back with the parking lot. And this is the east elevation, which is facing Mitchell Drive. And as part of this project, tree removals are also being requested. There are a total of 13 trees that are being removed. Of these 13 trees, 3 have been approved by the city arborist as due to the size, species, and the poor health of the trees. And I did want to point out that all of the trees being removed tonight are merely landscape-type species, and none are highly protected species. And I have bubbled the trees that are being preserved on-site and off-site with the green bubble. And here is the proposed landscaping plan. A total of 55 new trees will be planted throughout the site, and they range from 15-gallon to 24-inch box. And there is a variety consisting of maple, crepe myrtles, Brisbane pistache trees, and live oak trees will be planted along the project frontage, again, facing Mitchell Drive. And here is the proposed signage. What you see here are the two wall signs that are proposed for near the primary entrance. Here is the sign that you see. I don't know why my clicker's not. And then this is the other sign that you see right here on the rendering. And I believe the one sign is non-illuminated, and the primary joy-bound sign will be illuminated. And the total sign area for all three signs combined is 61 square feet, and it does fall within the parameters of what the city sign ordinance allows, is well below what would be allowed for this building. And here is that sign on the other elevation that's facing, I believe it's the south elevation, facing the adjacent property. And here they have it's right there. And I also wanted to point out what you see on the renderings is what the signs will, the location of the signs. I could go back to the other one. So this, the way, if you noticed, the renderings for the signage up top depicted a little lower, but it's actually going to be placed higher. And so the sign renderings will be updated to reflect that. And so as part of this project, it is subject to CEQA or environmental review. That is currently under review with the city, as the city is waiting for several studies, such as the traffic study and some information on noise to really determine the determination of, because the project is not exempt from CEQA, so really to determine would this have any impacts or would it not have any impacts. So that's still under review. This project isn't exempt because it's over 10 acres, so it did not qualify for an infill CEQA exemption. And the project does comply with the city's business park development standards as far as height, as under 40 feet, and it meets all of the setbacks along the front, side, and rear, as well as the lot coverage requirements. And it's also designed to meet the city's design review standards and guidelines. And I believe that checklist is included in your packet tonight, and that is, I think, attachment 9 of your packet. And the project also meets the parking requirements. There are existing parkings, and for this project, parking stalls, and for this project, 42 additional stalls would be required. And there are a total of 207 stalls on site, where 197 would be required. So they're overparked. They're providing additional parking beyond what is required. And the project would also be subject to the public art requirement. I believe the applicant's team has been working with the public arts manager to really see if there's a way they could provide public art on site. Again, we could let the applicant speak more on that because we haven't received anything as far as a submittal, but I believe there's been some discussion. And with that, staff does recommend that the Design Review Commission review and comment on the following topics that are listed on this slide, as well as provide a positive recommendation to the Planning Commission to move this project forward. And that is all I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? No? Okay.
No? Okay, thank you.
Is there a presentation from the applicant, or? No. Okay.
Introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Greg Bua with JPA Strategies Group, the architect. And then tonight I have with me the representatives from ownership, Susan Lee Vick, she's the CEO, Cheryl McKenna, the CFO, and then Scott Corney as project consultant. And then we have members from the design team. Michael Vidra is the civil engineer, and then Jesse Moran is the representing the landscape architect.
Thank you. Commissioners, does people have questions?
I'll start with some questions. I mean, These are these are going to be addressed to you. You're the architect, right? Yeah. So like basically color. So the it's not gray. It reads gray, but it's more tan. I can see now brown. It's kind of distinct from the existing campus. The existing campus is I don't like the colors really. They're yellow and orange, but they're really different. I mean, how can you unify the campus a little better so it reads all together?
The images that showed the yellow are older images. That's what it used to look like.
Okay.
Joybound went through a process with the city and changed the yellow to the color you have there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is matching the color that is out there now.
No issue. All right. So then
Yeah, we didn't go.
I went on Google Earth myself. It's
direction.
like I remember what it looks like very clearly because I got a dog there. So, yeah. So the facility is somewhat easy to miss from Mitchell and from the broader Oak Grove corridor. How are you approaching visibility and arrival for first-time visitors?
There is an existing monument sign right now, right next to the driveway. I think on the north side of the driveway. So there will be that signage, and then let's see, yeah, right here. There's an existing monument sign right now, and then the signage that Simmer was pointing out on the building. The Joybound sign is up high right here on this side, and then up high right here. So that should be visible to anyone driving by.
I mean, I'd say this is more of a comment, but it's that's all on Mitchell, right? So, and most of the frontage is on Oak Grove. It just seems like there'd be better to have some measure of visibility on Oak Grove. Something.
Okay, yeah. Right now, the only entrance is off of Mitchell, and I believe along Oak Grove, you can see the building, but you're right. There's no signage that I'm aware of on that side.
All right. Okay. Third thing is like the building hierarchy. So this building is going to be the first thing you see as you enter that driveway. Is it intended to be the entrance for the whole campus? Like, do you want folks who are coming for the first time to actually show up at the entrance to this new facility, or are you trying to direct them to the back? And how are you directing them to wherever you want to go?
Yeah, when they drive in, they will see this building initially as they pull in on the left, and if they go down a little bit further to look for parking or whatnot, they will see the main facility. It's very visible from this main existing driveway.
Okay. All right. How about that crossing, that pedestrian crossing? Why there?
We did it there because that is where the handicap stalls were, so it made sense to the accessible path to travel. It right now is along this north side of the drive aisle, and so we continued that accessible path across the lane right there, and then right there is the main entrance.
And so would there be any instance where somebody would want to go from one facility to the other, or maybe would you take the animals across the street to exercise them?
I don't think the animals would go across the street. You may have staff going back and forth possibly between buildings.
Yeah. Okay. So fencing. So the fencing is arguably there's as much fencing as there is building. So do you want to just kind of walk us through what the fencing is going to look like?
Yeah. So both any walls or fencing, we're mimicking again what's already on site. There are a series of walls and fences around the exercise yards here. The yards we didn't do one massive yard, we broke it up into 4 different yards. And so you've got perimeter walls that go around that, both to screen the dogs and then also for noise, Those walls are CMU with cement plaster finish, painted to match the building, just like the other walls that are out there right now. And then along the street frontage, there is a perimeter wall that is set 25 feet back, and that we wanted to soften that one up, being along the street frontage, and so that one is only 4 feet tall. Again, CMU with cement plaster finish, and then there is a 3-foot fence that is mimicking fencing that's already on site on top of that wall.
And that's only in the front on Mitchell.
Correct.
Okay.
That wall goes in the
Okay,
front along
that's
Mitchell.
why you mean. And then what does that fabric or whatever look like? Is it like vinyl coated, or is it the metal on top of the wall?
It's just a metal fence that's on. It's a decorative steel, not mesh, but like bar grates that
Okay.
is on the front. Along the side of the property is a black coated chain link fence.
Okay,
Again, that's also on site in various places.
okay.
And the wall, I'll mention too that another thing that we did with the wall fence combination along the front here, it's set 25 feet back, and so it is fully landscaped in front. There are 4 large coastal live oaks that are going to be planted along here, along with shrubs and various ground cover.
I mean, can we see what that fence looks like on the Mitchell frontage?
It is on the landscape plan. I don't know if there's a way to pull that up. I'll tell you what she.
Or you could describe it. The landscape person's here, right? So,
Please.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with the existing site?
Yeah.
And that has this low stucco wall
Right.
kind of around the outside edge. And so that is very similar to the base, right, of this wall fence combo that's running along the Mitchell Road frontage. So it's basically I believe it's a 4-foot stucco base with what's called an Orso grill topper on it. And the Orso grill you can see on the existing site around towards the back as you come along Oak Grove. You can see this kind of slightly see-through kind of metal mesh. There's a panel of that runs along the top of the stucco wall on the Mitchell Road frontage. So
So it matches.
so it matches. It's,
Okay.
it's pulling from the materials and the reference from the existing site.
Okay. And then the stucco color is going to match the building somewhat.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a thumbnail detail, I might add, on sheet L1.0.
Yeah, I saw
bottom
that.
left.
Yeah.
It just wasn't clear to me that it matched, so that's not an issue. And then on the fencing that goes around the yard, is that full height CMU?
Yes. So there's a little bit of a layering that happens. There's a full height CMU on the outside edges, and then the yard themselves inside of that are the black vinyl coated. So there's a bit of-
Inside, okay, so inside.
yeah, inside that.
That doesn't matter because the public doesn't see it, right? It's got to work,
Matters to the dogs.
right? Matters to the dogs, yeah. Dogs are important, I'll tell you. How about lighting? There's 25-foot pole lights. Are those all the way out in the street? I mean, how do you modulate it so that it doesn't spill off the site?
Yeah, they will have built-in shields and cutoffs that direct everything down. We won't have any spillage onto the street. The 25-foot height is matching what's already on site. I believe they're white pole lights, and so
Yeah.
we're matching the same.
Okay. Last one's a landscape question. So, I mean, the project screening relies heavily on landscaping along Mitchell Drive. Can you elaborate how the landscape creates a coherent frontage and identity, not just screening?
So two parts to that, right?
Yeah.
How does it create a coherent identity? So we were just talking about that fence, right? The combo
Yeah.
fence along Mitchell. And the rendering here shows kind of a uniformed massing of color underneath those live oaks along the front. But it's actually two different species that mimic the greens, light and dark greens that happen in those coast live oaks. So the larger shrubs are along the back, along the wall, stepping down to Arctostaphylos, which is like a very low form of manzanita. So it's really pulling from kind of the landscape ecology that you see across your city and that's relatively native or indigenous to the land itself. So it's continuing some of the look that happens around the existing facility, but hearkening more towards kind of the streetscape landscape that you have along the adjacent roadway.
Nice. And then looks like the stormwater is kind of a work in progress.
It is.
It's here.
Yeah.
You got to figure out what you got to do. How would you deal with bioretention or whatever are you doing? Are you planting the swales or what are you up to there?
We do intend to plant in the swales, and as I understand, we would probably irrigate those lightly just to make sure that the species that are in there can tolerate the variations that happen throughout the year.
Smart, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Go ahead, you're up.
Thank you. I've got a few questions. Some of them parallel Commissioner Newsom's comments. Onto the signage and kind of being on site is, you got 3 buildings on this campus now. Is there intended to be any wayfinding signage that may come to kind of point you what direction, what building to go to?
Yes.
Is that currently an issue now in terms of just the A and B being on site?
Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl McKenna. I'm the CFO and COO. We are definitely incorporating wayfinding into this right now. We don't have comprehensive wayfinding, so we use a lot of A-frames with some, nice printed adoptions this way, training that way, clinic this way. So wayfinding will be something that my team has been waiting very long to happen, and very excited to have added to this project.
Okay. Will it be part of this submission in the end?
Does it have to be? Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I don't have an answer. Does it have to be?
We're going to comment that it does.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that could be a comment.
Sure, we can make that happen.
Okay. Great.
As long as we get some wayfinding, we'll do what you want.
Additionally, one of the renderings showed plantings in front of one of the kennel walls, kennel CMU walls. And the site plan does show kind of vegetated beds in front of those CMU walls. Does that planting continue around the building proper, the CMU walls, all sides of the building? The initial rendering, I guess, that's the one that's from Mitchell. On the left side of the building, there's plantings in front of the wall.
Yes.
So as you go, as you're onto the site along the driveway, well, really, I guess the north and the west sides is that there are planting areas. Will there be plantings on those walls as well, or will those just be stucco?
My understanding is that there are plantings on those walls as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question for the architect: any special detailing in terms of control joints or controlling of climbing plants on those to make sure that wall stays integral? It has some longevity.
I'm sorry, say again.
Any special detailing in terms of controlling the stucco and its movement and the involvement plants? Just make sure those walls don't
Yes.
cracks and things like that
Yes,
over time.
yeah, it will have, because they have some length to them, there will be expansion joints or control joints. So,
Okay, thank you. There are a number of surface drains, for washing down things like that. Are those connected to the sanitary sewer, or are those connected to the biofiltration facility?
let Michael Wood, the civil engineer, speak.
A number of the kind of washdown drains that are around the facility, are those connected directly to the sanitary or the storm sewer, or do they dump into the bioretention facility?
They're going to dump into the bioretention facilities.
Okay.
So the new ones coming off, the ones coming off the roof?
Yes.
Yeah, those are going to overland or underground, still to be determined, but the ones that are close, overland and then dump into the bioretention for treatment.
And what about surface drainage, walkways versus?
Yeah, those will dump into the stormwater treatment facilities as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And again, as it was pointed out, those are still a work in progress, but the idea is we've got them on there.
Okay. And I also noticed, my last question, I noticed on the site plan that there are new roadway gates that kind of tie into that wall. Looks like there may also pedestrian gates as such to bring in wind, but the vehicle gates, is there a purpose for those specifically? Security otherwise?
Yes, I'll jump back in. We've had quite a bit of challenges with security, less so since they've raised the vacant JPG building next door. But we've had a lot of gas siphoning, people ripping open electric areas to get places where I guess they could charge their phones. So the intention is those gates will be open during the day, but we do want to close our campus at night and especially help protect our fleet. And we've had some vandalism to our solar panels too. People, probably to get teenagers throwing stuff up on there and stuff. So just trying to mitigate that as much as possible.
Okay, great. And I would just have to make sure the fire department is aware of those on the drawing, so they have access to the buildings if needed. Okay, all right. That's all I have.
And they'll have Knox boxes.
Great, thank you.
Hi. Just a couple of questions. One, and again, it's that signage thing again. When you showed the signs for the new building, there was nothing on there that said that it was for like pet daycare or things like that. I know that you said you're going to be working on wayfaring. So I've spent a lot of time going to ARF, or Joybound, and it's very confusing to know which building to go to. So I just wonder, was there a reason that you didn't put on this building, it says Pet Care Center, but that seems rather vague to me.
No, I hear you. And that was actually kind of a holding spot. We actually now have, since this was put together, we've obtained secured, I shouldn't say obtained, a donor to name the building. So that was a kind of a placeholder. So it actually would be called the Liberty Center. They named it after their dog, Liberty. So it'll be the Liberty Center Boarding, Daycare, and Behavioral Clinic. So.
Fantastic. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. The next thing I wanted to just ask about is the issue of noise. It seems like you guys put in things to mitigate noise, and can you just talk a little bit through what that noise is or how it might affect the neighbors?
Sure.
So, as you know, we've been around for, it'll be 35 years in June, and we're pretty well known for not being a noisy, raucous organization. However, there will be, in this particular area, more dogs outside during the day in one place than we normally have. So hence some of those, the walls, the berms, et cetera, just to try and make sure that we can continue to be our nice noiseless neighbor reputation and keep that in stock. We are aware that it's slightly different in the fact that we'll have a number of dogs outside at a time in an exercise yard, which we don't generally have 20 dogs at a time right now. So that's kind of what we're trying to make sure we don't want to be the noisy neighbor and everybody doesn't like us anymore.
Perfect. And then I have another question sort of along those lines. So in this new area, you're going to be using it during the daytime, is that correct?
Yes.
And then can you talk a little bit about what the surface material is going to be and shade in respect to that? Because I know that on the existing, you have a lot of mature trees that provide shade, and that's not something that I see here.
Yeah, I think I can at least start that question.
Yeah.
So you can see on this particular plan, the squares with the dashes. Oh, maybe I can.
Yeah, no, I see them.
So those are shade structures
Right.
that are cantilevered out over the yards themselves, the exercise yards.
Okay.
So they create solid patches of shade, but intermittent shade. And they're definitely important as the adjacent trees have the opportunity to grow in and provides to augment, right, the shade provided.
Yes.
As well. My understanding is that these are AstroTurf surfaces. Yeah. So that they can be cleaned and they can be resettled as needed. They're also softer, for dogs who care about that. And so they both, give a sense of kind of a grass feel, but they can also be washed down.
Okay.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. I guess my question is, what if it's a day like today and the AstroTurf is too hot for the dogs to be on?
So we also do a lot of fields. And with fields, we don't have the opportunity to provide shade structures like this. So the shade structures themselves are an opportunity to keep the surfacing cool as well.
Okay.
So, okay, go ahead.
The artificial turf that's been selected is specifically designed for dogs and to stay cool.
Okay.
The turf is meant to be cool. It's got a sub base and sub drainage system that's meant to keep it cool, and so it's meant to stay cool even on hot sunny days. So that in combination with the trees and with the sunshades, that's how that's all getting handled.
Okay.
And just to add, we have existing exercise fields out there now that are the AstroTurf. And on some days, it gets really hot. Even, having a little bit of shade and stuff is enough. We just hose them down take the dogs out for a while, bring them back in, spell them, hose it down again, so.
Okay, great, thank you. And then my last question, I guess, is for the city. I'm curious as to what is being developed. Do we know what's being developed on the old JGI site? So which is what's going to be directly west of here?
Yeah, you're speaking about the site that was approved for the apartments for senior living, that one? Yeah,
Is that, it's just directly, so it's like
directly adjacent.
directly adjacent?
Yeah, that property is for sale. We have held meetings with several potential purchasers, but I do believe it's still for sale.
Okay, so we don't know what's going, yeah.
We don't.
All right,
Yeah, it does have a PD zoning specifically for residential use,
oh, it does?
multifamily residential use
Okay,
for seniors.
okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, great, thank you, those are all my questions.
I do have one additional question. This will obviously be a little more of a water-intensive project. Any thought to cost-benefit analysis of, code review of, using stormwater or rainwater collection, that through the course of washdown things like this may be of a benefit to the facility?
I'll share that you can't see it on here, but on the canal trail runs on our, I don't know what this is, north, thank you, north side. And we did at one point have a pump that we would use to help pull from there to mitigate, the other water usage. That pump has not been in working order for several years now, so we're trying to raise some money. It's significant to replace it. But that is my facility manager's great hope, is that we can get that pump working again. So yeah, we're thinking about it not just in terms of this, but the whole campus.
Okay, but nothing in terms of rainwater collection, storage, reuse on site?
No, but it has it. We never consider it because it is typically so expensive and just such an outlier that it would be a discussion that maybe I would start to have with Joybound and Cheryl to see, hey, there's some ideas potentially for it, but it's, in California, you can only collect rainwater for certain amounts, and then it's just this
Correct.
big box sitting out there that doesn't do anything for you for a while, but
Right.
something to look into.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comments? Public comments, thank you. Do we have any public comments? No, we don't. Okay.
You can go ahead and close the public hearing.
All right, we're going to close the public hearing. Commissioner comments.
Yeah, super supportive of the institution, like I said. I got my own dog there. You've been a great member of the community, so thank you. I support the project, what you're trying to do. I think it's cool. I think that said, just a few comments. I'm sure this is going to come out as part of the environmental review, but I'll say it. Look at the acoustics in the walls. You're going to be right up against the property line. And, kennels, because you're going to have kennels now. You're going to hear them, so that's something the walls have to do. I'm actually happy to see that the walls adjacent to where the dogs are is taller. Didn't pick that up, so that's why I asked the question. So just look at the acoustics with relation to the walls. It doesn't, obviously, full cutoff lights is important. I think it might be on there, but if not, that's a comment. Just like identity, right now, the identity of the whole site is kind of weak. I'm happy to see you have that sign up front. I think it's going to be really important that you add some wayfinding as you drive onto the site. Talk about traffic. It's possible. There's not a ton of people who are going to come screaming it out of here, but it'd be good from a vehicular level to have some wayfinding so that people know which building to go to. And that's it. Thank you.
I'll second Commissioner Newsom's comments about welcoming more opportunities for pets in the community. I have 2 Labradors myself, not from Joybound, but they certainly bring joy to our lives. And also, as well as on the wayfinding, this can certainly be as something which is kind of multi-level. Maybe your communications to people who use the facility frequently, infrequently. Their communications come in yellow, go to the yellow building. The communications, the text comes in green. I mean, there's ways you can weave, market materials and the building identification maybe together more. They aren't quite so literal, but then again, that may be through your study is what needs to be done. But I'm sure there are opportunities to make that work, and I welcome the project.
As I said before, I am a cat person, not a dog person, and have done cat rescue for many years and brought many cats to get fixed, and I really appreciate your support of all of the creatures. I think it's a great project. Again, for the third, mentioning the wayfinding and the signage, I think is really important. Again, it's always been an issue with the site, so this seems to be the opportunity that you can really work on that. The only other comment I would make is I know that you probably don't want to put a 6-foot wall along that side where there's that vacant lot and the housing is going to go in, but I really do think that in the desire to make that a desirable piece of land, if you could maybe have the plants be denser there or higher there, just really layering on the sound mitigation along that edge. So the edge that's sort of parallel to Oak Grove, I think would be really valuable for the community as a whole. So that's my only additional comment.
Okay. It looks like there's support times 3, right? And a couple of issues reaching consensus. It sounded like everybody everybody agreed with wayfinding and building identification seemed to be a primary issue. Good. Also, look at acoustics one way or another. Yeah. Okay. Show. Maybe provide cut sheets if they haven't already for cutoff shielded lighting and for the site, specifically the pole lights. Yeah. Let's see. And those are the consensus items that I've got listed. Did I miss anything? Is there anybody that doesn't agree with any of those things? Do we have a consensus? Okay. Yes. Good. Excellent.
Thank you guys for coming.
Gotcha. Moving on.
Moving on. This is a time for commission considerations. This portion of the agenda is for items not required to be publicly noticed, but where a formal staff presentation, question answer period, public input, or discussion among commissioners is helpful. We already did that. Are there any commission member or staff reports or announcements?
The only report that I have is that the Design Review Commission agendas are looking, they're empty for the coming months. So I'm not sure why, but more than likely something will show up, but right now there's nothing on there.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. There's a few out there bubbling.
All right. Well, if that's all, I'm going to adjourn the meeting.
Okay. 6:40, over.